Audio Jungle.
Hello and welcome to today's podcast. I am Nupur and joining me today is Lorena Billy, founder of Furt'Her, a women Web3 community in Brussels. Through Furt'Her, Lorena aims to build awareness and support the inclusion of women in blockchain and emerging technology in a practical, innovative, and international way. Welcome, Lorena, to the podcast. I am very happy to have you today for our discussion. We will be pondering today about the role of women in Web3 space.
Thank you very much, Nupur, for the invitation. This is a great initiative that you had, and I'm very happy to contribute to your podcast. Thank you very much for the invitation.
Thanks a lot. Starting with our first question, Web3 have brought revolution in various industries, and women are playing a crucial role in shaping its development. Could you share with our listeners some example of how you think women are making impact in Web3 space?
Sure. Well, it's quite interesting because you have different ways to look at how women are making impact in the Web3 space. First, I would like to mention a report and some statistics. So from the Boston Consulting Group, they made a report earlier this year where they showed that less than 13% of women are female founders of startups in Web3, which is a very low number. And that's among all employees of the Web3 ecosystem, there are less than around 27% of women. So those are the statistics they have shared earlier this year, which is still low. But if I look at how women are making impact, the ones that are going into the space, I can share from two different angles. You have the women who are active in the Web3 space as their main job and who quit their current job to move into the Web3 space, whatever background they had, could be legal background, sales and marketing background, HR background, and they just moved into the Web3 space. And some of them became really popular and grew their career into some Web3 projects and are advising big projects, which is very inspiring for other women. So this is one side, and then we can also see it from another side. It's all those women communities who are being built to raise awareness around Web3 and their amazing educational platform that are being delivered to women to learn about Web3 and the complexity around it, and to create this safe space where women can feel comfortable learning at their ease about the topic. So it's very interesting to see that, because you have this big trend of women building communities to bring and to motivate more women into the space, and you have those the jump to cross from their industry to the Web3 space and try out the ecosystem, and with their belief that it has an added value. So it's very interesting how women are making impact in the industry.
Yeah, definitely. The numbers indeed are on lower side where you quoted. But yes, like you pointed, and are striving to make some remarkable mark in the space. Many of the biggest names in the blockchain technology are also coming from women. There are various women-led projects in different segment of Web3 space. So I think as technology continues to grow and evolve, we'll see more women trying to make bigger projects in this space.
Yes, indeed, and I truly believe it comes from the personal interest of making the move to the Web3 space, because those women believe in the added value of the space, and this is how they could make the move, because there is a lot of challenges that we may cover later. But yes, it's because of a personal interest and conviction about the added value of this ecosystem. So it's very interesting. And when you see that they make the move, they're very powerful because they believe in it. It's very inspirational to see those women making a career in this industry, or empowering other through communities.
Exactly. Also, like you said, that there is a lot of eagerness that I see in people to learn about this new technology, new use cases around blockchain space, Web3 industry. But often I feel there are some or the other challenges which may come down the way for some people. What challenges do you think women face in Web3 space, and how can those be addressed? How could we create a more inclusive environment where women feel more comfortable?
So yes, indeed, there are a few challenges we can speak about. For example, I would mention a few and I will link the lack of time and lack of interest, because if you would like to delve into a topic, you need some interest and some time. So this is something that in our busy lives today, if you don't have an interest, a specific interest, or if you don't understand the added value of this ecosystem, then you may not take the time that is needed to do your research and learn about it. And since our time is very precious in our busy lives, it can be struggling to get into the space because of those two challenges. But also what I noticed and what I receive as feedback is that the lack of trust is a barrier, because there is a lot of bad press and also different articles with multiple opinions, and it's difficult to understand sometimes the added value of this ecosystem. So if you refer only of what you hear or you see in the mainstream media, it's not easy. And even on the Web3 more media, it's not always easy to filter the news and to understand what's going on and what has a value or not. So those are a few challenges. And I was also thinking about the lack of security, which can be a struggle from some women, because it's not given to everyone to take some risk. It's still an industry where the infrastructure is being built and it's still under construction, and security is not always 100%. So it has also some risk, and this can be threatening for some women to enter the space. So those are main challenges, but we also can talk about the fact that the industry is made of the majority of men, and that could be also intimidating for women. And as you also asked, how we can address those challenges, I believe that education is key to help address those issues. But also, I believe that if you want to get to trigger the interest of women into the Web3 space, you need to trigger their interest with something they can relate to. So something that speaks to them. So some will be more interested to learn about the financial side. Some will be more interested to learn from the supply chain side. Some will be more interested about the sustainability side. So you need to find out which angle triggers their interest to explain the added value that the blockchain and the Web3 space can bring to that industry that interests her or them. And that will be easier for them to get into the space. So this is really something which is important. And as we mentioned as well at the beginning, since there are only a few female founders, what is would be also interesting is to have more diverse investors. That could be also something that could help rise the number of female founders, it's to have more women into the board of investors to help also supporting the fundraising for women. That would be also something interesting.
Yeah, definitely. Some of the point you mentioned are very relevant. Like the point you raised, that information overflow. Definitely, there is a lot of information flow in today's world, and sometimes it's difficult to filter what to take and what not to take.
Indeed, yeah, and from where as well, because it's there are many sources. But what I advise always is to go from the original source. If you read about a project on an article of a press article, it's best to always go to the page of the project and read yourself from there, from scratch, because interpretation are always based on personal opinions from the person who wrote the article. And since the space is not very liked by many, so you need to make your own opinion from the original source. I believe it's very important in this space.
Yeah, and you pointed out the point that if more women needs to come into the sector, something needs to be created that appeals to them more. So just thinking about the events you organize multiple events around different topics in Web3 space. So what do you think while creating an event? What thought process you have while creating or selecting the topics for different events?
Well, when I select the topic, I try to understand what are the main interests of my public and of the women coming to the events. And I would say the main pillars are financial, of course, and then we have fashion, and then we have sustainability. Those are the three main industries where there is an interest. And there is I also have some of them very interested in the tech itself. So this is also an interest. But if I have to talk about various industry, it's focused on those three.
Got it. Also, I think that in general, not enough opportunities are available in all countries in this space for women. And like some of the factors you also mentioned, these could be attributed to a variety of factors such as lack of investment from venture capitalists, lack of access to educational resources like you said, or lack of female role models in the field.
Mm-hmm.
But the solution which you pointed out to address this would be to make more awareness around different topics. Or what additional solution you can think of? Is it like creating a lot of educational resources and support? That is one thing, definitely. Organizing some sort of mentorship program is something you would advise. Mentorship from experienced women in this space, or what other areas you can think of?
I think really the challenge to bridge the gap between men and women is to create this safe space. Because when I speak with the women in the community, what they mention most is that they don't feel confident entering the space without knowledge. And even though the communities are very friendly of all what I've seen until now, but they don't feel confident. So they require and they need, this is what they expressed, a safe space to enter the ecosystem. So this is what I believe needs to be created to get more women into the space, is to provide them educational platform or events or resources. But what I realize as well is that they like to learn together. So this is something nice at events and to have resources. But since it's quite a complex topic and there are many things that can be spoken about, having those events are quite good, because they can ask questions and they also are very interested to interact with the speakers, to interact between themselves, to exchange tips. We had an event last weekend, a brunch, and some were sharing, oh, I tried this decentralized application, do you know? No, oh yes, okay, share with me. And it was very interesting to see that collaboration between women is amazing, and it brings awareness as well. So it's great to see that, and interacting, sharing, and creating this safe space really helps empowering women to get into the space and feeling more confidence. This is really something I have witnessed.
Yeah, definitely. And it's all more about co-creation. I think in this space is the entire segment is moving more into co-creation space. So definitely collaboration is essential for success here. And also encouraging more female representation in the sector can help to create an inclusive environment. Coming to the next question, how do you envision the future of Web3 and the role of women, or the role women will play in shaping the entire Web3 space?
Well, this is a very interesting question because who knows about the future of Web3?
Yeah.
But I believe personally that Web3 brings new chances for business, for managing data, and including more people financially. So this technology is innovative and transformative, and it changes things a lot. The society is shifting, and it's very important to understand it and not to let tech control us. So there is still a big gap between Web 2 and Web 3. User experience, security doesn't allow mass adoption. So there is still work to be done around that if we want Web 3 to be successful, meaning Web 3 meaning decentralization. So this is envision, and there is also, I had a seminar online where we spoke about data, decentralized data, and the user responsibility. And we were also wondering how can we move this forward, because being responsible of your own data means it's that in Web 2 it's quite easy because you don't have to take care of your data. It's already handled by third party. You just accept the conditions. Yeah. But in Web 3 we go towards decentralization and ownership of data, which is great, but ownership means responsibility. So how will people react to that, owning their data and owning their wallet and their keys? Are they ready for that? So there is a lot of discussion about that, and see how the public will adopt the decentralization, or if we will go first towards Web 2.5 and then Web 3. So this could be also maybe a transition, how we will get there, but let's see. It's very promising. We just need to see how people will react to it and how they will adopt it.
Yeah, and day by day, if we scroll through LinkedIn or any social media, I see a lot of new use cases coming. So definitely the potential of Web3 is limitless and its future looks very promising, but nobody knows how it will go in the coming years, but we all have positive hope there. And coming to women are driving innovation in blockchain technology, like we discussed previously, from developing multiple innovative use cases. You also mentioned some before. So I hope we see more of influential thought leaders, especially women in the industry in the coming years.
Yeah, indeed. I strongly believe that they will shape it as well, and that women and men are complementary. So it's for the benefit of everyone to work together. And there are already a few women making some impact, and with those also big communities, it empowers more and more women to get into the space. So it's very inspirational and motivational to come into the space, and I'm pretty sure that what I like as well about this industry is that it's open-minded and it's friendly. So women are welcome. It's not that they're not welcome. It's just that women have some barriers to cross, but they're welcome. So
Yeah.
that's good.
The community whole together is very welcoming, willing to help each other. That's what I see also.
Yes, and this is also one of the reasons I liked starting into the industry. It's because it was a very friendly industry.
Mm, oh, that's good. You already mentioned about your journey a bit, how you started. Can you share more about that? Can you share your journey of entering the Web3 space and what inspired you to explore this technology? More so, how did the idea of Furt'Her came into your mind, and why did you decided that yes, you should go ahead and form this sort of you should do this sort of community building exercise and create awareness around the industry?
Sure, thank you for asking. It's well, as a few of us, I started to enter the Web3 ecosystem because I had an interest into investing in crypto, and I was wondering like how, what, why, and someone advised me to join a community in Brussels. So I didn't know how to start, so I joined the community. I attended events and I found it very friendly. And then I attended events internationally as well, because I was wondering like there is something going on. It's not about finance only. There is a technology behind. This technology is very innovative. It's very interesting. There is many use cases, and I kind of dropped the financial investment part and started to learn more and more about the different use cases and how the blockchain can add value to the various industries. And I was very surprised, yes or not, to see a few women attending those events and community events. And when I was speaking with my surroundings, my families and friends, I couldn't share easily what I was learning. And I was asking everyone, but if I would organize events or if I would provide educational resources, would you like it? And then the answer was always yes. So I said, okay, let's do it. And I started Furt'Her. So I launched it, and my main mission is to inspire women to build awareness around those technologies and to create this safe space that has been requested, that I heard that was a request for them to learn and to get into the space. That is very important for me, and then for them to empower them to grow into the space. So it's kind of it's building a bridge for them to enter the space. So this is very something that I like to do, and this is my mission with Furt'Her.
It's very interesting, and building community around anything brings a lot of good results, where community is willing to help each other and available for each other for any question. Then in the end, you build sort of inclusive environment where people are ready to help each other.
Yes.
Coming to next and the last question for the day, what advice would you give to young women interested in pursuing a career in Web3 industry, but somehow they feel currently discouraged or intimidated?
Well, I would give a few advices that step back and relax. The industry is complex and is evolving very fast. So keep learning and keep going to events and get surrounded by other like-minded people. That's very important. Believe in what is important for you. If you have an interest for a specific industry into the Web3, go for it, learn, research, and yes, make yourself available for networking events, for communities. It's really something that is important. So those are the main argument I can share. It's really to do your research and attend events and yeah, it's very important to do that. Continue to learn and make sure that you are able to identify when projects are viable projects or scam projects, because there are still a lot of scammy projects. So you have to be careful when you are in the space. This is something we need to remind. But there is a lot of great opportunities, and I have seen as well from the women who made a move from their industry into the Web3 space, either with a sales and marketing background or legal background or brand strategist background. They made the move, but to bigger projects, bigger companies, and they assured their career path through that move. So maybe start with a bigger project to enter a bigger project, learn from them, and then you can maybe move to another one that you like or prefer. But make sure that you go towards projects that are serious, and be careful into that ecosystem.
Yeah, and there are multiple good use cases in the industry. So yeah, I would say try with different alternatives, be agile and be ready and willing to take risks. Also, like you mentioned about the importance of attending different events or meetings, I think that it's very important to stay abreast with the new development in the industry. So following conferences, reading articles from thought leaders in the space can help provide some more insight on the technology and its application. Also, certain social media platforms like LinkedIn gives ample opportunity for connecting with people who have experience in the field, who could provide invaluable and guidance in the space.
Indeed.
And also, I see a trend of a lot of projects running hackathons are also a good source of learning. So you spend some days building something in the hackathon, try to connect with like-minded people, and that does give a lot of learning opportunity. So
and it's good to, it's also, I'm continue, but it's also good to explore the industry, to attend those hackathons, because when you're not very familiar or you want to deepen your learning about the industry, it's good to attend. And something that I was not very aware of is that you don't, it depends on the hackathon, but you don't always need a tech background, because you can also share your ideas and expertise to build a project, but you can have a team with different skills. So hackathon, it's not always. Some are also open to various profiles. So you can join hackathons and learn about the industry with not having a tech background as well.
Yeah, definitely. And I would say think of each opportunity that one can use to build more learning experience. After all, learning comes only with trying something different than the status quo. Any last parting thoughts, Lorena, you want to add?
I would say enjoy it.
Yeah.
And also another thing is like to keep your feet on the ground always, because technology can be very powerful and is very innovative and fast-paced. But I believe that we are the human being and we are the one creating it and using it. But we always need to be mindful of that and keep control of what we're doing. So, and be aware of what's happening. So really to be aware of the technology and how we want to apply it. And also, if I can add just one last thing, is that we don't have to Web3 everything, but where there is a added value.
Yeah. And really, that's end our today's podcast. Thanks, Lorena, for sharing your thoughts. Thanks a lot, everyone, for tuning in to the podcast.
Thank you, Paul, for the invitation. It was great to talk with you. Thanks.
Same here.